Imagine this. You walk into your office one morning, ready to start the day. But something's off. There's a weird glitch in the printer, a minor inconvenience at first, right? Now picture this. Your tiny, seemingly innocent malfunction is actually the last piece in a puzzle that will unravel one of the largest heists in modern history. $1 billion stolen from your bank, and your nation will be left reeling in disbelief. You wouldn't believe how this happened, but it did. And it all started with that printer malfunction. Welcome to the unbelievable story of the Bangladesh Bank Heist, a cyber attack that defied logic, timing, and even the laws of chance. So how did it happen? And who was behind it? Stick with me as we unravel this shocking tale. In February 2016, the Bangladesh Bank, the central bank of one of the world's fastest-growing economies, found itself at the center of an international scandal. A scandal that involved hackers, billions of dollars, and a whole lot of bad luck. It all began with a simple technical glitch in the bank's printer. The printer that was supposed to be printing out transaction reports had failed. This minor issue turned into a huge problem. Why? Because the bank was supposed to be printing out real-time reports of international financial transactions. This printer was connected to the SWIFT system, the trusted network that banks use for global money transfers. But now, due to this glitch, the reports were delayed, and what the staff didn't know was that this delay would give cybercriminals the time they needed to pull off one of the largest heists in history. But let's rewind for a moment. How did the hackers get into the system in the first place? The story begins months earlier, in May 2015, all the way in the Philippines. A group of men walked into a branch of RCBC Bank in Manila and opened 4 accounts with a measly $500 each. At the time, it seemed like a trivial event. Little did anyone know these seemingly abandoned accounts were about to become the center of a criminal scheme worth nearly $1 billion. Fast forward to January 2016, a month before the heist, when an unsuspecting employee at the Bangladesh Bank clicked on an infected email. It was an innocent mistake, but one that set the stage for an all-out cyber attack. The email contained malware that infiltrated the bank's internal systems and allowed hackers to spy on the bank's operations. They knew exactly what they were doing. All they needed now was the right moment. Then came February 2016. The attack itself was meticulously timed. It took place over a weekend, when the Bangladesh Bank's staff would be away from the office, and when New York's Federal Reserve was in a different time zone, with minimal staff working on a Sunday. That's when the hackers struck. The hackers used the bank's own SWIFT credentials to send 35 fraudulent transfer requests to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, asking for nearly $1 billion to be sent to various accounts across Asia. But why New York? Because Bangladesh Bank had an account at the Federal Reserve with billions of dollars deposited for international settlements. The hackers knew exactly how to exploit this. And because SWIFT transactions are usually secure, the requests were processed without raising alarms. But here's where the story takes a twist. Remember that pesky printer glitch? Well, it was no coincidence. The hackers had actually taken additional steps to wipe out crucial data from the SWIFT system and intentionally caused the printer to malfunction. This allowed them to hide their tracks and buy precious time. The bank's staff couldn't react quickly enough because they didn't even realize what was happening until it was too late. And when they did realize, panic set in. They rushed to stop the payments. But by then, the transfers had already been processed. Or had they? Here's where luck stepped in. The Federal Reserve's system flagged 30 of the transactions for manual review. It was a technical fluke. One of the transactions had a word in it that matched a blacklisted shipping company connected to U.S. sanctions against Iran. This triggered an investigation, and by Monday morning the transfers were stopped. But remember, this was no ordinary heist. The hackers were good. They had planned for this. While 30 of the transfers were blocked, 5 still managed to slip through the cracks. These 5 transfers, totaling $101 million, went to accounts that the hackers had set up months earlier in the Philippines. The money went into 4 accounts at the RCBC Bank in Manila, the very same branch where those initial, seemingly abandoned accounts had been opened with just 500. One of the red flags for the RCBC staff was the unusually large $20 million deposit into a small, unknown NGO account. But it wasn't enough to stop the transaction. The money quickly disappeared, funneled through casinos where it was converted into untraceable cash. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, how did this get past the bank's security systems? The answer is a mix of bad timing, human error, and remarkable bad luck. The Bangladesh Bank's stop order didn't reach RCBC because it was Chinese New Year in the Philippines, a holiday that delayed the stop request. The hackers, once again, had calculated the delays to perfection. By the time the fraud was discovered, most of the stolen money had already vanished. But investigators were hot on the trail. 2 Chinese men, Ding and Gao, were arrested for their role in setting up the fake accounts in the Philippines. However, by the time authorities tried to question them, they had already fled the country, heading straight for Macau, a region where tracking them became nearly impossible. But here's where things get even more interesting. Upon further investigation, experts found that the malware used in the Bangladesh Bank Heist bore striking similarities to the tools used in other cyber attacks on financial institutions around the world. This wasn't just a random group of hackers. These were professional criminals. And who were these criminals? A group known as Lazarus, a cybercrime collective linked to North Korea. Lazarus had made headlines before. They were the group behind the infamous Sony Pictures hack of 2014, the cyber attack that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. But the Bangladesh Bank Heist took things to a whole new level. Experts soon found evidence that Lazarus had used North Korean IP addresses and Korean language in their code. While some believe this could be an attempt to frame North Korea, most cybersecurity experts agree North Korea was behind the attack. And why would North Korea target a bank in Bangladesh? The answer is chilling. They were likely stealing money to fund their nuclear program and enrich the elite members of the regime. The stolen funds were likely funneled through Macau, a region with strong ties to North Korea's financial operations. If this is true, then the Bangladesh Bank Heist marks a watershed moment in cyber warfare. For the first time, a nation-state, North Korea, had pulled off a massive cyber robbery. The attack didn't just target a single bank, it sent a message. If a nation-state can steal from a bank like this, what's next? Could they hack political systems? Weapons systems? Could they even disrupt your bank account or your YouTube channel? It's a terrifying thought. But here's the thing. We can all take steps to protect ourselves. The lessons learned from this hack are crucial for everyone, governments, institutions, and individuals alike. If you want to protect yourself from cyber attacks and ensure your sensitive information stays safe, tools like Dashlane can help. Dashlane makes password management easy, secure, and completely hassle-free. You'll never have to worry about a hacker stealing your passwords or breaking into your accounts again. If you haven't already, make sure to download Dashlane and keep your digital life locked down tight. Because if North Korea can hack $1 billion from a bank, imagine what they could do to you, unless, of course, you're using Dashlane.